So I am starting, well, I am doing final preparation for taking on the end of the game. But, I found out something last night after I started the broadcast, or after I put up the announcement broadcast. Apparently, there is a house building mini game thing you can do, and I've just completely missed it. This is important because there are extra weapon racks you can build in it to store your extra junk weapons. So, that's sort of my project right now, so I can do things with some of the weapons that I want to have, but not have on me. Things like the white sword, which I've given a use, but I would prefer to have more things like these katanas and less of these talus weapons. In order to get this quest going, you have to come to Terrytown and resolve the issue with Hudson and Ronson? Is that her name? Yeah, Ronson's daughter.
Oh.
Which didn't take very long. I was actually a little annoyed that there wasn't more to it, because it seemed kind of like Terrytown was one of the bigger quest chains in the first game, so I kind of expected more from Terrytown. I guess this is the finale of that, but we'll see.
Ma.
Oh. This is going to cost a lot of rupees. Fortunately, I have plenty of stuff to sell. Since yesterday, I finished up all the shrines, which there are a total of 152, at least at present. And I also collected all the Sage's Will using an online guide. I was missing 2. I suppose I may as well look around Terrytown and make sure nothing else started. Oh, they still haven't prompted me to look into those star-shaped islands. I kind of thought that there would be more to that because they're so ominous, but I was reading online. I checked to see basically what's left for me to do plot-wise, and it sounds like as soon as I talk to Pora, basically they're gonna tell me to go kill Ganondorf.
Huh.
What is some shit I can sell? Well, I suppose I should start with gems. Maybe I should check with What's-Her-Face up in Goron City. I probably don't need to, though. I'm also a little paranoid because some of the upgrades require gems. I really like the Terrytown music. Oh yeah, I still need to farm. Another thing I wanted to do today was farm Firetail Lizalfo's tails to finish an upgrade. I do not need 149 Lizalfo's talents. Although Goblin Fangs are ideal for attaching it to... Yeah, I don't need to worry about it. Actually, I really don't need like 300 of the bloom seeds. Considering the darkest, the depths are all lit up, it's really silly to hang on to any huge amount of these. And it's not like I'm using the dark set anyways. These mills actually sell for a lot. I'll consider... Let's see what the recipe on that was. Oh, that's why. It probably breaks down somehow related to the base cost of it. Anyhow, I have lots of money now. I should be able to build whatever. I hope they don't want me to collect wood like in the previous game. As for those star-shaped islands, I was expecting that I would need to have all 5 sages to interact with them. Or maybe that Minu would be able to read the text because she is, well, ancient. Ah, this must be the space. I do recall somebody talking about how they were planning to expand Terrytown, but I just sort of thought it would happen. But with it being right... Oh. That music cue.
Ah. Oh. Ah. Ah.
This is going to look ugly.
Oh. Ah.
Oh, I can just walk through the ropes. That's nice. Oh, I see. They'll remove the the fence. That's a little bit better. So it looks like this is meant to be the front room. Oh, I see. Get out of the way, you stupid music. I wish they would show a grid for this. So that's very basic, but I'll add to it.
Ah. Oh. Ah.
Yeah, they really should have included a grid. This man is pissing me off.
Oh. Ah. Nah. Nah. Oh.
Oh.
おなああおああお
Okay, so I can. They do angled rooms, which has something. Let's see. Weapon stand room. That's basically all I want. Oh, I can only have 3.
あなあおあなあおあなあお
I'm less thrilled about shields. For hanging a painting.
あ
Oh, that's nice.
Oh. Ah.
This is dangerous. With how addictive I can become with building stuff.
Mm. Ah. Ah.
Those must be the weapon stands, I think.
Oh. Ah. Oh.
The triangle room doesn't really help What I need are like right angled rooms.
Ah. Oh. Hmm. Ah.
Oh, okay, so it's naturally going to want to connect at the seams, unlike
Ah.
most objects in this game that have too many junction points.
Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Hmm. Ah.
Huh. This is too big? It seems like it should just slide in there. Like that. I don't like that they're making me use my Zonai powers to move this around. This feels like ideally it should be an overhead UI element. So that way it can completely snap to the grid. Or if I could tell certain pieces to, I just don't want them to move. Are these bow storage or weapon storage? Every time I want to disconnect something, it's going to misalign the buildings. That's terrible. This was a terrible idea. Okay, so that's the art gallery. Then I have this type of building here. Okay, so I screwed up there because I want this over here. Okay. Also, this NPC should not be here. Like, he should be over doing his NPC stuff at the appropriate stall. I hope I didn't just make one a ceiling. This is very imprecise.
아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 나, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아, 오, 아,
I'm starting to think that you can't fill up the whole space. Again, they should have made a grid for this, but they didn't.
Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Ah.
This might cause more problems, but it should make the place so it is less wide. All of this for extra storage. Ugh. Right. Why did he stop moving?
Hmm.
Well, it functions even though it's open. I think I am done with this
Ah.
this mini game until they add something to it that makes it more precise.
Oh. Ah. Hmm.
More important is that I can store shit now. Let's start by making some open space. Okay, it does remember the properties. I would have been really annoyed if it deleted the properties of the weapon. So ideally, if I'm going to try to be good about this, is that I want to create I don't think that there's a Thunder Talus, but I'd like to take the Talus's heart and have them displayed, because I don't really need them. But if I'm going to make that work, that means I would need to have 3 good bases for them that don't look horrendous. Oh right, I wanted to get the other weapons from the champions too. So I'll go do that now. Hmm. I'm starting to have second thoughts about all of this. I thought this would be helpful, but instead it's only adding to the inventory problem. I should replace my travel medallion in Terrytown. Where are my travel medallions? So there's one in the depths of Hyrule Castle. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, I had one placed at the Spirit Temple. Okay. Although it almost seems like it makes more sense to place. Oh, there's a shrine right here. Okay. That's the real purpose of this shrine. After I finish messing around with this, which I hope won't take very much longer. Oh, those are both good grabs. Okay, so I might end up fighting another Lionel or two to get their horns.
Oh. Ah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, I am going to go kill a Lionel now. I didn't fuse anything to the Master Sword. I should have before I started this. Oh well. Now that I have that new Lionel horn, what I'm going to do is disassemble this Gleok crossed weapon because it uses a Gerudo scimitar. Simply drop the horn, equip that scimitar, and fuse. And now I'm up to 4 of those scimitars, or 4 of those katanas. I think I might swap some of these around. I'm gonna check for scimitars. This one seems like it's always been a scimitar for me. Hey Ethan, good to see you. Hi Arthur. Yes, I did all the shrines. At least all the ones that are currently available. That's a traveler sword. I think I'll remake my frost scimitar because it was pretty useful. The reward for hold on. The reward for all of the shrines. I'm drawing a blank. What did they give me for that? Oh, that's right. They gave me this outfit for that. I don't know. It's kind of cool, but it's not something I'm going to be wearing. I'm actually really annoyed I have yet to find the Climber's bandana. Okay, this one's on life support. I think it's time to go visit some Octoroks. It could be hinting at something, but the way the story is going, it implies, well, I guess if Sonia never had children, then there isn't any Zonai ancestry actually being handed down through the royal family. There's also the question if they're even compatible genetically, but we're talking about a world with literal magic in it, so it's hard to say. Oh, I'll have to go do that. First, I have to play with my best friends here. Oh no you don't, Tulin. Great. Oh yeah, I found out you can't repair the Demon King bow. Which means I'm probably going to go farm one or two more of those. Good. I think that is giving them way too much credit. Basically, Zelda has always been, you get to play Link. We don't care if you want to play Zelda or anybody else. You get to play Link. Oh, they're giving me lots of attack up today. Cool. After I finish with this weapon thing, I'm gonna go talk to Pora, and she'll probably basically just tell me to go kill Ganondorf. Oh, you're a fire breathing one. Cool. I need your tail. So, you can make Link look like a Zonai, yes, but he's won't ever actually be one. And that's what I'm getting at here. Like, sure, they can, I think that's fine. And you were brand new until I started using you. I'll take any ability here. Okay. Oh, that got upgraded to a 5-shot burst. So what I would be weary of with your current line of thought, Ethan, is for them setting up like a Zelda MMO where you get to make your own OC character, and I really don't want that. And the reason why is because I want a curated story centered around key characters, and not games that have a story where you're sort of an amorphic person that they have to account for in every broad stroke. Skyrim's a good example of this, since you brought it up. In Skyrim, you are the Dragonborn. And Skyrim is actually probably one of the early games. It's probably one of the games that contributed to having the general phrase, the something. You're the avatar, or you're the Dragonborn, the hero, the swordsman, as they call Link in this game. But there are always these vague titles because they give the player the means of customizing their character to be different races, different genders, etc., etc. And in accounting for that vagueness, there is a loss of there is a loss of narrative. Alright, I'm gonna talk to Pora now. I'm gonna record this scene too, because, well, we'll see.
Mhm. What? Uh-huh. Hmm. What? Hmm. Check it. Hmm. Huh? Ah. What? Hmm. Hmm. Mhm. Yes. Check it. Hmm. Ah. Check it.
Since you brought it up, let's see what she says if I wear this.
Yes. Check it. Hmm. Hmm. Check it.
Hmm.
Oh. Hey. Yeah.
Now there's supposed to be some other guy I was reading about. Let's see. Yes, Ethan. An MMO, a Zelda-based MMO would not turn out well. I remember when I played Breath of the Wild for the first time, and around the time I was completing it, I started playing with the idea of trying to make an actual board game that incorporated elements of it. I gave up on it because it seemed very unlikely that Nintendo would actually ever agree to that type of thing. Ah, one of these. I did. Okay, so this will probably actually trigger the stuff with these weird pedestals.
Yeah. Oh. Ah.
Ancient history lore. Why didn't they give this to me earlier? Just in case he wants a picture of it. As much as I want Demise to actually be a part of this game, I don't think he is. I think this is completely a reboot. Breath of the Wild was vague enough to interpret that it could and should even follow from Skyward Sword. But I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is going out of its way to shoot things down to prevent that.
Oh.
I look forward to reading what this guy has to say.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Okay, so at this point, I've basically already found all of them because I've been marking them on the map. So this should be relatively simple to go get. The 8th heroine quest I did. The history about the 8th heroine. Yeah. So, do you want me to talk about it, Ethan, since you haven't done it yet? Because I'll just explain what the quest says if that's what you want. Yeah, so the story talks about how in the ancient Gerudo past, how there was a big desert blight, some sort of big desert monster that the Gerudo were facing and could not overcome. And then, from beyond their borders, a man came who helped them with the problem and killed the creature. And they wanted to commemorate the man as part of the Gerudo 7 statues to make him the 8th heroine. But Gerudo law forbade this because he is a man. And so they ended up making a shrine for him in secret. And presumably a statue for him in secret as well. It's not above me, is it? No. Ah, there it is. So, you can find the shrine for him. There's a Gerudo scimitar there, by the way. Yeah, they could be trying to set up for something, but I think that is getting your hopes up. And I am personally tired of being disappointed by Nintendo. Clearly, we want a more rich Zelda story, but I don't think they're going to give us that. I think they're just gonna keep playing this vague, loosely connected at best situation, especially with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom doing so well financially. I know I'm being a bit pessimistic about it, but it's not like Nintendo is giving us reasons to be optimistic about the future of the franchise. But who knows, maybe they'll announce Breath of the Wild 3 and completely undermine this game, like this game undermines a lot of what happened in Breath of the Wild. I should try talking with Monster Maze more. Alright, this one fell into the chasm. So, I don't think there's any clear implication for Link the hero being the one mentioned as the Gerudo 8th heroine. I am acquainted with Moxie, and I've talked with Low Roll Historian some. I would like to talk with them more, but I've been avoiding a lot of the talk until I've finished the game. Oh, that one's pretty high up. So is Moxie and Monster Maze and yourself of the opinion that this all connects to the older games? Where is it? Sprite. That's not it. Oh, it's up there. Okay. That I think warrants building a balloon. Yeah, I do agree that the bargainer statues are basically demon statues, and I'm curious about that, but they're not the most interesting to me. I also am leaning towards a reboot like them. I've been watching Rata's, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Ratatosk, I'm not sure. I've been watching his videos about it too, and I share a lot of similar views to him. I actually really want to get to know the guy better. I think, in regards to his video about if Link and Zelda are living together, I think I think that they are. And I do agree that it's weird that the people of Hateno don't seem to recognize Link. But I feel the intent is supposed to be they are living together at this point. Of course, there are so many different people working on the projects that it's hard to tell. It gets into like the Marvel Comics problem, the comic book problem in general. Ratatosker. Oh, thank you, Ratatosker. Where is it? There it is. So I was really hoping that these platforms would involve using the 5 sages. Oh, oops. You know, I should really switch over to the flight gear. Right. So, again, if Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a reboot, which I think that they are, then they're not entirely in danger of violating the way time travel works. I feel the way that Tears of the Kingdom is written, the implication is that Zelda has always gone to the past and existed coming forward. and that everything was set up predicated on that idea. So it's a bootstrap paradox. I mean, that's what the circular imagery is about, and people were already speculating about that before the game came out, though a lot of people were trying to connect it to Hylia, myself included, and it's a shame that Nintendo simply didn't do that. But they can continue to deny us the lore all they want. I don't think that's the case, that she changed the entire timeline. I think that in this situation, everything is basically, it's the way, how do I put this? Things in this timeline are the way they are because they always were. Is that it? I think that is. Oh, hey, Ethan. Before I forget, last stream you came in and I wasn't trying to ignore you, but there was an issue with OBS where it got switched over to like top chat instead of live chat. So you came in and were talking at me a little and I didn't respond. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I literally didn't see the message because of the issue with OBS. And I want to apologize for that. Why did I mark you? It probably doesn't matter anymore. I'm not sure if I marked all of the star locations. I marked everyone that I found with a star. This one, I can probably get to it from this tower. I really feel that's the intent behind the game. Wait, this isn't a tower. I really feel that's the intent behind what's going on, but I really wish they would just tell us that. They're probably afraid of the backlash from fans if, you know, everybody's favorite Zelda titles being thrown under the bus for the sake of a reboot. But at this point, they've made so much money off of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Does it matter? I don't know. I feel like I'm being overly pessimistic lately with this series. And I walked into not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom with a fair bit of pessimism myself regarding it. I wish that my vision wasn't so colored, but I'm not very optimistic. I think they just did a reboot, refused to own up to it, and frankly don't care about the things that they've built. I'm not so sure about that, because clearly the story from Skyward Sword was designed to be at the origin point of everything. Demise, I don't think that the Demon King and the Demon King presented here and Demise really have a connection. Even though with Breath of the Wild, they were using clear language to connect to him. But Tears of the Kingdom goes out of its way to remove a lot of that language completely. And so, you know, calling Dark Beast Ganon, or the Calamity, the incarnation of hatred and malice, was a clear nod to... I do not care if this thing falls out of the bottom now. I got my picture. I am kind of curious where it's going to land, though. I don't think that there really are other Ganondorfs. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. So, in the original timeline, there is one Ganondorf, and you know he's the one from Ocarina of Time, and he splits those into three different routes. We're aware of that. Then there's another Ganondorf that's talked about in Four Swords Adventure, but Four Swords Adventure is a really problematic game because it feels like it's supposed to take place in the Fallen Timeline based on how much it borrows from A Link to the Past. The biggest issue with it, though, and the Ganondorf presented there, is that they refer to him as like a special person born once every century, or there's a contradiction with the Gerudo belief of what that Ganondorf is. I honestly just want to take Minish Cap, Four Swords, and Four Swords Adventure and shove them in their own timeline. Because if Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are an example of them just sectioning things off as their own timeline, then those three games very clearly should not have connected. But here we are. You can rest assured that I am going to have some words to say in my videos about all of this in the not too distant future. Let's see, this one is probably easier to get to from here. I think my next podcast is going to be about the, I might just call it the new timeline or something. I'm gonna reach out to Moxie, because Moxie is really good at speculating. Channel's literally called Heavy Speculation. But see if they, and maybe Low Roll Historian, would like to come on and have a chat about it. A little bit more. Oh, it's right there. I'm gonna have to use that waterfall. Like, every single one wants to fall. But that picture I took counted. So that is 8, 9 if we count the initial one, and there are 13 total. That would be next. That one's actually pretty low. So I don't think Skyward Sword connects to Breath of the Wild anymore. My optimistic view walking into this was that they used Skyward Sword to create a new timeline. Because at the end of Skyward Sword, there's the bit where like they leave the Master Sword in the past. And then it's suddenly they're in the future when they move forward, like under... Alright, so in Skyward Sword, at the end, you go back in time because Garahim abducts Zelda. And then you stop him, you fight Demise, right? And then there's that touching scene with Vi, where she says goodbye because Link puts the sword into the pedestal. So that way Demise can start to decay in it. And then he goes through the time gate back to the present. And then the sword is still there. But the place he put the sword is specifically like in front of the double doors where Impa was at the start when you first get there, and she basically was there the entire time, and it doesn't make sense for the sword to suddenly be there and not have been there the entire game. I was operating under the belief that because of the simple act of leaving the Master Sword in the past there, it created a new timeline. And that timeline led to the events of Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom. That was my optimistic excuse for trying to explain all the differences away, with the idea that that new timeline, when it got to around the time of Ocarina of Time, a Ganondorf would have been born as the embodiment of demise and his hatred. And from there, that would have eventually led to his sealing, the Calamity, Breath of the Wild, and then Tears of the Kingdom. As I keep saying, though, I don't think that's the case anymore, though. Oh, it is Enderman. Good. I see you, Blood Moon. I don't think that Skyward Sword is in this timeline, and it bothers me. I feel like the Fi sounds from the Master Sword, the talking of Loftwings, that was just more lip service to old games without any supporting context going forward. And I really hate it. He does mention it's the work of a goddess. One might question how much does the Deku Tree actually know, though? That's the next one. I think I might be I'm feeling kind of burnt out with all this. With this game, I've been hitting it so hard. I really just sort of want to end it. But I'm gonna do that stream a little bit later, probably tomorrow night. I might have to go look one up. Well, that's interesting. The labyrinth is at a lower altitude than this one. So, Ethan, let me ask you a question. If Skyward Sword, or if Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are in its own continuity, and they've effectively discarded the old timeline, then without the connection to the old timeline, with all these references just being references and not shallow references at that, would you become uninterested in further Zelda games? Actually, that's a really good question for the podcast. Would you become uninterested in future Zelda games if they if Tears of the Kingdom was a reboot? Well, Breath of the Wild was a reboot. I wasn't quick enough on this one. Oh, a Korok. I would probably still play them. I don't know if there's been any announced DLC. I haven't been following that, but I'm fairly certain there is going to be. Like, how could, in this day and age, how could they not do DLC? Oh, do I care about a Molduga? I can at least get a picture of it. I've actually only fought one Molduga in this game. I'll go play with the Molduga. I wonder if I can kill it before it lands. This thing needs to be repaired anyways. Actually, I think... yeah, I'll go use the katana. Oh shit. No. Oh well, I didn't need a picture of it anyways. All right, reading what you were saying. Right, and that's the... So you remember the controversy with Age of Calamity, right, Ethan? Where they were really hyping up that these are going to be the events of 100 years ago. And they used that exact phrase. But as soon as you play the game, it's an alternate timeline because of time travel, and it doesn't actually make sense because it contradicts its own... It contradicts things in Breath of the Wild. I was really stepping up to defend Age of Calamity when it came out. But the DLC, when that came out, that just ruined everything I was trying. I'll deal with him shortly. I want to get this picture first. Oh, I already got it. Okay, so it looks like there's one more that I may have failed to actually find on the map. Hey, there's another thing that they teased us with. Arbiter's Ground. And how, you know, the big pyramid seemed to be coming up from it in the trailers. Oh yeah, he does show up in that tapestry, doesn't he? But I'll be honest, while I have mixed feelings on the writing team for not Tears of Kingdom, for Age of Calamity. On one hand, they were willing to do what Nintendo clearly is reluctant to do, which is actually like try to write continuity. The problem is they didn't have all the answers, or I don't think they had all the answers. So they had to use their own headcanon here and there. And even the best of lore keepers can't keep all of this stuff straight. I think they could have done a bit better with referencing what had been said in Breath of the Wild, and in particular, the things talked about in the Champions of the Ballad DLC, and had done better to connect things. But at the end of the day, they really flopped the project, and in terms of lore, it's a fun game. If you like Musou games, you'll like the game. I was playing it for story. I might have to go listen to their podcast from yesterday. I think I hit all the ones that I have come across in the game. Yeah, because I started up in this corner. Oh, I missed the one over the Great Plateau. Okay. I look forward to seeing the criticism, or I look forward to seeing the ending of this game, and I have a feeling I'm not going to be happy with it. I'm already not happy because they haven't been connecting to the lore in nearly as much as I would like. In fact, they seem to have been going very much out of their way to keep it safely away from any previous content. I'm looking forward to making a video on each of the champions, though, the new ones, the sages. I want to discuss them on the merits of just this game. Well, this game and Breath of the Wild. And this should be the last one. Let's go see what this guy has to tell me about the ancient lore. I bet it's disappointing. That's interesting to hear. You know, if I'm going to record this, I want it to be, you have a quest for me? I don't want to do a quest. If that is the way this guy is going to be, then I... Oops. So yeah, I do want to see what the Japanese text involving Ganondor's story says, because there could be more depth there. However, I'm not holding my breath either. Okay, let's see what this guy has to say about all the pictures I've taken. I'm going to record this one. And so I'm going to be quiet and just read.
おおああうんおうんおああああうんおうんおあうんあ
So according to that, Sonia was a priestess before she met Raru, before Raru came down. Sonia has a tattoo of the Triforce on her, but if she's just a priestess, that could be merely worship traditional cultural stuff, not really signs of, I don't know. You would think that Hylia being reborn as Princess Zelda would have been something kept up in the history going forward. So, if Zelda, as in Breath of the Wild Zelda, went to the ancient past, but it was after Skyward Sword, you would think that name would be significant to them in some way. I don't know. Sonia has time powers, so I feel like they're trying to imply that Sonia... I need to think about this a bit more. Apocalypse is your favorite X-Men villain? Sorry, I can't agree with you there. I do agree that Ganondorf's motives change throughout in the game. Because before he gets his secret stone, he very much seems set on conquest. But then after he gets his secret stone and he becomes a demon, he then seems to be set on wiping everything from existence, including potentially the Gerudo, because they talk about how, in one of the scenes, they mention how he's been fighting the Gerudo settlements are having trouble or something. I might need to revisit that. But the infamous line from the trailer about like wipe out all of Hyrule's inhabitants and her allies, that was actually a line from the past, not from the present. Okay, next picture.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Ah.
So Rauru would go hunting and just sort of like check out of being a king for a bit. That makes sense, but Sonia was there to bring him right back. So I'm sure you're familiar, you remember, Ethan, how there was that big interview, maybe in like 2019 or so, where they talked about how Breath of the Wild 2 was going to be a very dark game. It makes me wonder if they had to pivot. Like, if they were planning for something deeper with a lore connection. Perhaps along the lines of what people were speculating that the Ganondorf presented in that trailer was from Twilight Princess. But then they had to shift away from that for some reason. One criticism I have is the upheaval is like really not even all that noteworthy. It is no calamity. When the calamity came about, there was a huge amount of death across Hyrule. When the upheaval happened, some rocks fell. Sure, some people probably died from it. Not that we see any dead people from it. All the NPCs from Breath of the Wild are alive and doing their thing. I wonder if they had to pull back on the initial vision for Tears of the Kingdom and make something that wasn't as entrenched in lore and something that wasn't as dark. Yeah, so I haven't mentioned this to anybody in the community yet because I want to do a theory about it. But if you look at the murals at the start of the game, there's a very interesting one that shows the Hyrulean crest, you know, with the wings and the Triforce. But the Triforce are a set of 3 eyes. And I wanted to talk about that some in a theory. I don't think it's that everybody in the game is over the calamity. I mean, Zelda has some monuments around to the people who died during it. I think the world has moved on, or was moving on, when suddenly the situation with the gloom started up. I mean, if you look at the settlements and look at Terrytown in particular, you can see that it's growing. So I don't think it's that they just moved on. I think it's merely that growth and recovery takes time, and it's only been 5 or 6 years. Let's see what this guy has to say about the next tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Ah.
Well, that was an interesting one. That one, it says that the various shrines of light are actively suppressing monsters. Yeah, I did the labyrinths the other day. Just knocked out all 3 of them. So, there was something about the labyrinths that I found really interesting. The voice that talks to you in them, there are 3 of them, and they refer to themselves as the Lord of Boars, the Lord of Owls, and the Lord of Dragons. But more interesting is that at the end of each one of them, a piece of the Phantom Ganon armor, is sealed away. And they mention, each one mentions about how, like, this was sealed away long ago in the ancient past, or something like that. And in a weird way, it made me wonder if that armor set was supposed to be for Ganondorf himself. But it really doesn't make sense for that to be the case. Next tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Ah. Hmm. Ah. Ah.
So that one implies that Minoru was responsible for the creation of the constructs, and that fits. I don't really have much to say about that. Next tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah.
And in that one, they talk about how Zelda appeared in the past, and because of her regal behavior, she was just immediately accepted and we see this in one of the memories, how Sonia passes off Zelda as a distant relationship. What's more interesting, though, is with this text all being in ancient Hylian. Well, Zelda went to the ancient past, but there's no indication that she's speaking a different language. It makes me wonder if she'd be able to read it, but I think she can. Actually, the intro section has her deciphering some of the old language. So, okay, it makes sense. Next tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Ah. Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Ah.
So fashion transcends time too. So yeah, I've been wondering about the three other dragons. I was going to make, I was considering making a theory about the secret stones and talking about how there were originally 10 of them because we see 3 dragons who presumably ate a secret stone in order to become 3 dragons. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much to talk about that going forward. And unless there are hidden details in the game talking about that more. Their names do resemble the 3 golden goddesses. So maybe there is a suggestion at a connection there. That there were 3 entities who created this place and turned into dragons by eating their secret stones. I don't know. Let's read the next one.
Oh. Hmm. Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Um. Ah.
So in that one they talk about how it was Zelda's idea to move the islands into the sky, Temple of Time specifically. But if you actually go to the Temple of Time after a bit, I'm not sure what triggers it being available. There is a construct there who will challenge you to light 3 fires around the Great Sky Island without touching the ground. And if you do this, he tells you the story of the Temple of Time and the Great Plateau, which is basically that because they knew that the hero was going to awaken in those lands, they raised it into the sky in order to make sure that it would be untouched so the hero could awaken. In other words, Zelda knew that Link had awoken and did not die from Ganondorf in the intro. So she made sure that the place he would awaken at existed so that way he could save things. I do not think that the 3 stones that the 3 dragons consumed are equivalent to the Triforce. I think they were just more secret stones. I hate the phrase secret stones. It's such a dumb phrase. I wonder what the phrase was in Japanese. Anyhow, I think it's more likely that if we're going to speculate about the 3 dragons, I think it's more likely that whoever they were before they consumed their secret stones, they may very well be responsible for the creation of the land of Hyrule. Maybe not like all of existence, but just Hyrule itself, or these lands that Hyrule exists in. That is something I want to think about more before I make any lofty claims. Next picture.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Ah. Ah.
So that one basically just recounted what the construct told me in the sky. Zonai Agatama. That would have been a good phrase or something along those lines, but it sounds very Japanese, which this game has heavy Japanese influences because it's made by a Japanese company. I wish they would have just called them Magatamas. Next tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Uh. Ah. Ah. Oh. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Oh.
I thought I had all of them. Oh, I guess there are 13 in addition to the initial one. Alright. I guess I have to find one more. And it's right there. I think after I get this one, I'm gonna end this stream. And then the next stream will just be going to fight Ganondorf. Which I plan to do tomorrow. I think it's gonna be in the evening when I do it though. Alright, so this one is to the right. That way. Maybe he'd be something like that. I don't know. It does raise a question. What would Link's powers be if he gained a secret stone? Who knows? Maybe he'll take Ganondorf's secret stone. I'm not sure how this game ends. Ah, there it is. A little hard to see. They make me actually touch it. Got it. You know, shouldn't recall work on these?
Oh. Oh.
And the final tablet.
Ah. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Uh. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. 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 Ah. Ah. Oh. Ah. Hmm. Oh. Uh.
Okay. Wow, I've been going for 3.5 hours. How the time flies when you're hunting tablets. Okay, Ethan. I think I'm gonna go and probably get some food because I haven't actually eaten today. Um, Thank you for joining me for the stream. It's always good to talk to you. And as for finishing the game, if you want to watch it, I think today is Thursday, right? Yeah, it is. I think I'm going to plan to do it tomorrow night. So on Fridays in the afternoon, or Friday nights I'm always busy, but I will plan to do the whole thing tomorrow night at 10 p.m. my time. If you want to join me for that. Yeah, so that last tablet was just sort of talking about the fake Zelda. And we saw her in a memory when Sonia was killed. But I'm really glad I was able to pick up on what was going on with that entity and all the Princess Zeldas running around in the present. Alright, Ethan. I'm gonna end this stream. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day.